Hi guys, I'm Cody Jay and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm bringing you another one of my collaborative style videos, and I'm yet again partnering up with my friend Shannon here on YouTube, and we decided to pick each other's full face of makeup. Time to find out if YouTubers can really be friends. Okay, so I'm really excited about today's video because back last fall, my friend Shannon and I decided to do a collaborative style video together where we pretty much did our own take on a fall inspired look. So today's video, we decided that we were going to choose each other's entire face of makeup, no holds barred, like we can choose whatever we want. It could be kind of shady or it could be really, really sweet and nice. And we just kind of left that up to each other to decide. Now, if you're not already following Shannon, you can find her at Shanley Makeup. I will have all of her social media links in the description box below, as well as her YouTube channel. So we are actually posting this video, or our video, at the same time today. So you'll definitely want to go check out her video after you watch this one and subscribe to her channel. She's super amazing, super beautiful, and super talented. So after I looked over the list of products that Shannon sent me to use for this video, I noticed that quite a few items were missing. So I sent her this little video.
Dearest Shannon, I'm getting ready to film our collaborative video together, and upon reading the list of items you selected for me, I realized that you left out things such as a face primer. You only chose an eye primer. You did not choose my P. Louise base, which is my favorite. How dare you? You also did not choose any eyeliner, any mascara, no highlighter, which I don't really love highlighter, but like no highlighter. What did I do?
Now her response was, oh, so sorry, I didn't see your highlighter and I didn't see this and that. I was like, well, it's okay, I guess I'll just go without. She's like, no, I still gotta pick them then. So she picked a few more items, and let me just tell you, I'm just gonna say it right now before we even get into the makeup application portion. Shannon, you did me dirty. You did me real dirty. Now, y'all are gonna find out why and how she did me dirty here in a few minutes, but let me just tell you, I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull off a decent or socially acceptable makeup look today, but we're gonna try our hardest. So to get started, Shannon picked out the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Primer. Now, I'm not a huge fan of primer, which I say in almost every single video, but when I do use a primer, this is the primer I go with. So I guess we're off to a decent start. Now, this was one of the products that she forgot to pick out. She thought the primer that she picked out was for my face, but it was actually an eyeshadow primer. And I'm ready to get some makeup on this face because look at that. No. For foundation, Shannon picked out the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. This is a much lighter coverage foundation compared to what I typically like, but you have seen me use this quite a few times on my channel. I do really like it. Now, I really love doing videos like this collaborative style of a video, because it's just really fun to kind of market yourself to a new audience of viewers, and people who follow or subscribe to Shannon might not follow or subscribe to me. They may never have heard of me, and vice versa. So it's a really smart and efficient way of kind of advertising yourself to new people. And it's just honestly a lot of fun to do videos like this, especially this type of video specifically where I just let someone else pick my makeup. And it makes it a little bit different when she is very well versed in makeup instead of just letting a random person do it, because she knows what she's picking. Like, she knows whether she's gonna like do me dirty or not. And like I said, she did me dirty. And before we get too far into this video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on my YouTube video post notifications by clicking that bell icon and changing it to all. Now, this foundation is a little bit darker than my skin tone, as I am literally transparent now, since I can't leave the home and I can't tan in any way, but we just gotta make it work because that's what Miss Shannon picked out. Now, Shannon could have done me real dirty and picked one of my like super tan shades back from when I was like super tan. That would have been a scandal within itself. So for concealer, Shannon picked the Jeffree Star Cosmetics concealer. This is in the shade C7. Now, I really do love this concealer. It's very full coverage, but it's very light. It's a little bit too contrasting compared to what I normally like as far as my highlighted areas, but that was also when I was super tan, so it was really different. But I'm a lot lighter now, so maybe it won't be as bad. So I'm just gonna take the tip of my beauty sponge and blend that all out. So I'm actually gonna switch this small one because it blends like a dream, but it like really blends out a lot. It moves a lot, I guess that's what I'm saying. So I need a smaller sponge to kind of control it more, or else it gets all over in places that we don't want it to go. Okay, so you see how super brightening that is? Like super brightening? I don't like that much contrast. So thankfully, Shannon picked out the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. This is in the shade 15 Light. Now, when I do use this Jeffree Star concealer, I always combine it with this powder because since it's not translucent, it will tone down the brightness while it's setting it, which I like. So it does give that really mattifying, flawless finish without the extra brightness. So if you've noticed, I use this combination together a lot, and then I'll use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer under my eyes, and I will set it with a Jeffree Star Cosmetics translucent powder. I kind of like flip-flop them, but to me, those two combinations work perfectly together. So you see, I definitely have that illuminated under eye, but it's definitely not nearly as bright and white as it was before. It has that little bit of tint to it now, while also still maintaining that coverage. Now, unfortunately, during this, worldwide pandemic, I've been stuck at home like everyone else, or like you should be, and have been eating anything and everything, and I've consumed nothing but Pepsi for like 4 weeks now. So my skin is disgusting, it's dry, it's flaky, and we need to get that under control. Okay, so real quick before I move on to contouring, I'm gonna let my face dry a little bit and we're gonna do brows. So Shannon picked out the Benefit Cosmetics Goof Proof Brow Pencil. Now I have not used this in a hot minute. I have been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow for a long time, and I know this shade is a bit lighter than what I normally use, which is probably not a bad thing because I still have not decided if my brows are too dark. Like I pick out dark brown for the pomade and I just think it's too dark for me, but I'm not sure. Let me know, honestly. Okay, so brows are on, and since I don't have my usual P. Louise base to carve out my brows, which I love because it's super full coverage, I did a lackluster job with my foundation to kind of carve them out a smidge. Now, this foundation is most definitely not full coverage enough to carve out brows, in my opinion, or on my face. So it's very not sharp like usual, but I wasn't about to use my JSC concealer and have crazy white going around them, so we did what we could do. So up next for contouring, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. And I'm just going to go in with a really big fluffy brush like this. This is the Morphe M527 brush. I'm just going to dip into that and just do our usual contouring. Okay, once we have that on, I'm going to take my beauty sponge and just whatever product is left on it, just lightly stamp over where I contoured, especially on my cheeks. Sometimes it sticks to my foundation a little bit too much and it's a little too dark and I don't like that. So we're just going to blend it out a little bit just to make sure it's not as harsh. So real quick, I'm going to contour my nose with that same contouring palette. Hello, schnoz. Alrighty, next up I'm going to take my Morphe X Jeffree Star Setting Spray, which is my favorite, so good call on that, Shannon. Ooh, it smells so good, I need to get another one. So while my face is still wet, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Revolution Strobe Highlighter. I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush as usual, and just go on the high points of my face. So now we're going to move on to eyes. So for eyes, unfortunately, Shannon didn't pick out my favorite P. Louise base, which I use 100% of the time. She chose the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. Now I've used this probably twice ever. I have no idea how it performs. I have no idea what it's going to do with my shadows, so that's not good. But I'm just going to take it with my finger and just kind of press it on. Now, this primer is so weird to me because I just feel like it's so thin and oily and it moves a lot, and I don't like that. I like a really thick base, and I'm used to having such a blank canvas when I put my shadows on, so hopefully this performs well. So the eyeshadow palette that Shannon chose for me to use is the So Jaded palette. This is by Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. Inside, it looks like this. Now, the little twist that she threw at me was, I don't know if it's intentional, but for mascara, she chose the ColourPop mascara. Now, why is this a twist? Because this mascara is purple. So this will not be going on my upper lashes because we're not about to screw up some nice false lashes. It'll go on the bottom. And she also chose this Dolzura Cosmetics Green Gel Liner. So I don't know why every time someone picks out my makeup, they try to throw one of these at me. Now, I didn't use the blue one that was chosen by Dustin Daly in my last, subscriber picks my makeup kind of video because my pink and red look I was doing was phenomenal and I wasn't about to ruin it. But we'll be using this glitter liner today. Okay, so for the eye look, I'm thinking I'm gonna do something neutral toned with a pop of color because we gotta have color. And since we have some green liner and purple mascara, I'm gonna try and keep the majority of my shadows, you know, as neutral as possible so they hopefully don't kind of conflict with that green and the purple pop. So I guess we're gonna see what we get. Now as far as style, I think I wanna do a halo because halos are my favorite, you know this. And I think I want something easy today, so halo it is. So I'm gonna start off with my Morphe M441 brush. And I'm gonna dip into a little bit of Royal Jewels. Actually, I'm gonna go into You're a Gem, which is right here. I changed my mind that fast. So I'm just going to apply this in and above my crease and take it down towards the tail of my brow. Okay, so the shadow is applying decently with this primer, so I'm kind of surprised, but like in a good way, obviously. I just don't like the way my brush and the shadows feel on my lids compared to when I'm using my P. Louise base. But I guess as long as the shadow shows up, that's what matters the most at the end of the day. So next I'm gonna go with my Morphe M433 brush, which is just a smaller brush. I'm gonna dip into something a bit darker, so I think I'm gonna go down here with, I think it's pronounced carnelian. We're going with carnelian. Now this shadow is gonna be pressed right into my crease, right up into that little socket. And we're just going to kind of stamp it in and blend it out into that first shadow. Now for me, I want this shadow to be very pigmented, so I might have to layer it up a few times. So to blend that out, I'm gonna go in with that first shade again. I'm just gonna lightly go over the very top of the darker orange and mix it with the first shade just to make sure it's blended seamlessly. You see the big difference between this eye being blended and this eye where it's just really harsh? This eye is a lot better. So this is why blending is paramount. Okay, so now of course, once you're blending out those shadows, if you loosen the intensity in the shadow that I put right here on the crease, you can just go back in, stamp it in again to build up that pigmentation until you get what you want, and then blend it out once again. For me, I am fine with how intense it is, so we're just going to move on from here. Okay, so next we're going to deepen the inner and outer V of our eyes. I'm going to be taking this Morphe brush right here. It's just a flat packing brush, and I really like this because it kind of goes with the curvature of my eye. So I want to really make it a bit darker now. So I'm going to go in with the shade Jasper, which is right here. This is a really dark brown. So I'm just going to press this on the inner and the outer corner. We're going to take it up a little bit, but we're also going to blend it outwards just to make sure there's no harsh lines. Now when this shadow is on the lid, it's definitely like a purple brown, but like, I'm okay with that. So once we have that brownish purple on both lids, I'm just gonna take that second brush we used when we dipped into carnelian and just tap it off. There's not really any product left on it, but I'm just going to go on the outer corners again and just make sure that it's blended seamlessly. So now I'm going to take my Morphe M224 brush. It's just a synthetic packing brush. And I'm going to dip into something really bright and vibrant for the inner part, like the halo part. Okay, so I'm going to go in with Period, which is right here. It's a vibrant green shimmer. So hopefully this shows up on the lid like it does in the pan. And I chose this green so that I have something to connect to when I use that glitter liner tube over there. So we're just going to stamp this in the middle. And yes, it shows up. So when you're doing a halo, some people do it like to where it looks like a V, and then some people do it chunky. And I lately have been doing it chunky. So I'll take it right up to the crease, right where that socket is, and really press it in there, and then just kind of wing it out a little bit on both sides. And then once you do that, just kind of drag it down a little bit. Now go over to the edges and just kind of blend them inwards. That way you can really maintain the shape how you want instead of blending it out that way. And that is a pretty simple halo eye. So now if you wanted to, you could take that dark brownish shade and you could blend out the edges a little bit more just so if there's any harshness, it's not there. And then one more time, take that packing brush and just kind of tap it over the brown again just to make sure it's blended. And that is pretty much how you do a pretty easy halo eye in my opinion. So now we're going to drag a little bit of the shadow underneath our waterline to complete the shadow portion. So I'm going to be taking my Makeup Shack T14 brush, And instead of using one of the colors we've already used, I'm actually going to dip into a little bit of garnet right here, just to bring a little bit of a different hue into the look. So we're going to take this from the outer corner and just drag it down. And I like to press it into my lashes just so I can get as close as possible. And that way I'm not really dragging the shadow too far down to where it makes my eyes look saggy. So I'm actually going to pick up the very first brush we used with the very first shade, which is You're a Gem, and just make sure there's very little on it. And I'm just going to very lightly look up while kind of blending and diffusing out that garnet shade with this, just to lighten it up a little bit. Okay, that's the eyeshadow portion all complete. So now on to mascara. Now, like I showed you earlier, Shannon did not pick any regular black mascara. She picked the ColourPop Volumizing Purple Mascara. So I will not be putting any mascara. How many times can I say mascara in 30 seconds? I will not be putting mascara on my upper lashes. I'm just going to be throwing on some falsies. But on the bottom, just to stick with what she chose, I'm going to be applying my purple. And she did not choose any eyeliner for my waterline, so that's a bummer. So like, that is what it is. Okay, actually the purple mascara kind of complements the kind of purple toned shadow underneath my eye, so like, that's okay. Okay, so for false lashes, Shannon chose the Ardell Wispies in the style 811, which is right here at the top. Okay, so if you're wondering how I'm going to use this green liner, I think instead of just putting it on my lid, which I don't like to do because I have hooded eyes and it kind of smushes it, I'm going to use this as my inner corner highlight instead of using a typical shadow. So we're just going to put it where we normally would put any of our shimmer shadow. Okay, maybe a little strange, but I guess it works for this little challenge. So to finish off this whole look, we have lips, of course, and Shannon chose the NYX Professional Suede Lip Liner. This is in the shade Sandstorm, like that. And then we're also going to finish it off with Celebrity Skin by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. So this lip liner is almost identical to the shade of my lip, so you really can't see it, but it's there. And I don't normally line my lips anyway, so it doesn't help. Okay, this is the look all complete. It's gonna get all up in your space as usual. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, thank you so much, Shannon, for choosing these products for me and doing another collaborative style video with me. And to all of you, again, I will link all of Shannon's social media and her YouTube channel in the description box below. So definitely go check out her video if you have not. And if you are here from watching her video, welcome. So if you guys have another YouTuber that you would like me to do a collaborative style video with, please either tag them on Twitter, or if they have a YouTube channel over 1,000 subscribers, it'll let you tag them in the comments below, so please do so. And if you'd like to keep up on all things Cody J, you can find me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook, all at Cody J Artistry. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Click that big red subscribe button so you can join my YouTube family. Turn on my YouTube video post notifications by clicking that bell icon and changing it to all, and I'll see you in the next one.